Anyway, that some of those things that we touched on brings us onto the topic of the day, which is identity crisis. Or identity. We'll probably see what we're gonna name the episode when it comes out. But even before the camera started shooting, you spoke about, for example, I think it was your manager or whoever that was giving you tips on how you can kind of, good intention to improve your craft and how you speak, so and so forth, or whatever it was. But at the same time, when you guys were talking, I think I mentioned as well, is that it's important to know who you are, yourself. You know, not just relating to obviously in the craft of what you're doing, but as a person, you know. And in a lot of, in the time, you know, like nowadays where obviously social media, I've realized that social media, it kind of advances a lot of things. Like things were already there where people, for example, had conflicts with their identity or weren't confident in themselves, but it's kind of sped through, you know, in a way like that. So we can talk today about the topic of identity crisis, and let's start maybe with the DJing, you know. How does that kind of play in your craft, you know? Have you ever felt at some point where you felt conflicted, where even someone with a good intention, whether a friend, family, colleague, manager, whoever, tried to point you one direction, but there was a point where you felt conflicted to a point where you were thinking, like, is this really me? Or is this really what I want to do? Am I just, or has my vision changing, as you mentioned before? Is it music still, or is it, you know, so and so forth?
Maybe with DJing, I probably wouldn't say, maybe not DJ. So I guess only a little bit to some extent. Like, I guess recently my manager at radio, when I told him that I want to work towards getting a slot on air, like, because I don't have a slot, he did mention to me that he thinks I'd probably be better for a mix show rather than a daytime show. But that's probably the most influence I've had in terms of DJing. I've never really had anyone try to, like, in terms of DJing and my identity, I guess I've kind of just fallen into it myself. I just do what I like. Like, actually, no, this is quite a good point. I remember at the Wall of Comedy event, I don't remember her name, the dancer, the girl from the CEO Dancers, Nabila?
The one that danced that met Kanye.
Nabila, I think her name was.
I can't remember her name, but
she talked a lot about how she got to where she was because she just didn't care about what people would think, or the reason why they went on Britain's Got Talent and they got a lot of attention after doing that, because, and she said she felt that was because she stuck to her roots, her like African roots and stuff like that, and it was refreshing to see, because it's like when you watch a program like that, you'd expect to see like another diversity and stuff like that, people doing the kind of same thing. I guess with DJing, I never woke up and thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like an Afrobeats DJ, but I knew within me, like when I was growing up, I'd always go to like African parties and things like that, like weddings, and there was always like certain songs and music that was played.
Saloon weddings and parties.
I wouldn't say guilty pleasures, because I don't believe that. Like I'm never embarrassed to say that that's the kind of music I listen to. But it was always music that I would never hear outside of those environments. Yeah, so like listening to certain artists or certain songs like Afrobeats. I would say only in the past maybe 7 years, if that, Afrobeats have got popular, like after Fuse, and now it's like a thing. You listen to Burna Boy, Miss Easy, and I know they've been doing it from time, but it's only now that they're getting recognition.
Exactly.
I guess like that's probably one thing. Before I decided to be a DJ, I would have never thought I'd be an Afrobeats DJ, but now that I am, I would say that if I would allow what other people have thought or pressures of the outside world, I guess, to get into my head, I probably would never have embraced that. Because it's only now that I think I'm as good as I am, or I get the attention that I do, because I'm owning the fact that that's the music that I want to play.
Niche, exactly.
Yeah, like, because I do multi-genre. I love like garage and funky house. That's like my second. I love to do all that kind of stuff. But if you ask me first, like Afrobeats is like first. And yeah, I guess, like I said, like if I would allow what other people would think about my taste in music and stuff to get into my head, I probably would. Because before here, I was at Peterborough, and I guess there's not very many like it is quite diverse. It's similar to London, but no one really listens to Afrobeats there. Like, it's not really a thing. And if I would talk about what I was into, even like putting the radio on Capital Extra in the stockroom, everyone would be like, oh, what is this? They don't want to listen to like smooth, like stuff like that. If I'd allow myself to fall into that and be like, oh, like maybe not then I guess I would not be DJ that I am today. I've definitely had those pressures in other areas of my life, like people try make me into someone I'm not, or people say something to me and I thought, oh, maybe not then, but not with DJing, because I feel like I'm confident in that.
So would you say at least not up until this very moment you faced the temptation of, because comparison is a killer, of maybe comparing yourself to someone who is doing well but not doing what you're doing, and feel like, okay, you know what, not that I'm gonna scrap, you know, what I'm doing, or, you know, put aside what I'm doing in terms of my identity, but you've had a temptation to lean more to maybe what you see, what you hear, than staying true to what you're doing in the first place.
Yeah, so when I was presenting, I had that a lot. I would always see like, it's so weird the way the world works, or your brain works. And I know also like algorithms and stuff, the moment you decide you want to do something, you see everyone else doing it. Like, it's so weird. So when I decided I wanted to get into presenting, I would see like loads of other females doing what I want to do and stuff like that, and then I would see them like blowing here and there, and I just think to myself sometimes like, what is it that I'm not doing that they are, that's making me, like, it's taking me longer, this, that and the other. And I'd go to so many talks and events and try and get advice, and I would feel like things weren't changing. But I feel like the moment I started to tap into like my spirituality and stuff, like I've become like, I guess, quite spiritual over the past year. I meditated a lot, I listened to a lot of things, I read a lot of books. The Secret, I don't know if you've heard about that book, but that is like, that will change your life.
It's amazing.
That, stuff like that, laws of attraction, that's what changed my perspective on the situation. So by the time I started DJing seriously, I've never compared myself to anyone. Like, I've always looked to myself, but I feel like with that whole thing, like I've always said to myself, like everything, like I said, you can't cheat life. So I always say everyone has their time, and you just have to, the way the process is, you just have to trust it. Like me getting fired from Settle Bay, that I was so upset about that. Like I cried about that. But then if I hadn't ever gone through that, I wouldn't get to where I would never have worked at Fox Park, and I would never be where I am now. So I've always said to myself, like, if someone's doing their thing, like I'll congratulate them, be happy for them, because I know that there's gonna be a moment where that's me. Like it's you just
the world's a big oyster.
Exactly, and that's another thing is as well. All people, I feel like you're always restricting yourself if you feel like everyone can't eat. Like there's enough space for everyone at the top, and people always get misconception. And that's another thing. If you're strong, if you have a strong belief in yourself, and you know what your identity is, and you know what makes you you, and you know what your niche is, you're never going to be threatened, because you just know that. You know that someone else is going to be you, and you know that you're not going to be someone else. So if people copy me as well, I'm never threatened by that, because I'm like, you can do the most, but you're not going to be me. Same with, so that's why I don't bother to copy anyone else, because if I could do the most, but I'm never going to be like my Jammer or Rebecca Judd. Like I'm always going to be me, so I might as well just be me 100%. That's what I say to myself.
Even from like a consumer like kind of standpoint, like I feel more attracted to like someone that's different. Like let's say there's a presenter that sounds exactly like someone else. Like, man, there's nothing new, we've heard it before. But like let's say someone is fresh, like you have a different vibe, a different look. I'm more attracted to you. Even artists, music. That's another thing as well. Like there's so many artists that all sound the same, and we always say they all sound the same.
Exactly.
So we're more put off. But when someone comes in with a different kind of sound, we're more attracted to it.
This is why I love Kano. Is like one of my favorite artists. This is why I love him so much. I watched his interview with Kaila. Apparently that's not how you pronounce his name.
Kaila.
Yeah. I watched his interview when he dropped his latest album, Hoodies All Summer. Yeah. And he just dropped so many gems in that, and I was thinking that's the way. If the world thought like that, then it'd be an easier place to live. He talked about how these days, obviously, drill's like really popular. Everyone has a track on a drill beat, and he was like, he knows what he does as an artist. And although he hasn't like dropped an album since like 2016, he was like, there was no way in hell he was gonna just drop a song on a drill beat and stuff like that, because everyone else was doing it. He was like, he's gonna stick to his roots, and if you are a true fan, you'll appreciate that, you'll love it. And he was like, he's not doing it for the people, he's doing it because it's his love. The people come after that, and it's true. I always say like, someone posted a tweet saying something like, what do you think about Instagram taking away likes? And I think ultimately you shouldn't really care, because you should be doing whatever you do in life because you enjoy it and you wanna bring it to the world. You wanna share that creativity. You shouldn't be doing it because so and so is gonna like it or so and so is not. You should do it because you want to, and it can add some kind of substance. So that's what I always say. And if people, I always say, if I do what I do, no one wants to listen to it, then calm. But at least I know that I've done it. And that's another thing. If I feel like I'm stressed out or I'm trying to make a mix because I want people to see blah blah blah, I won't do it because it causes resistance, and I'll try to make it perfect. Then the moment I'm feeling in a good mood, I'm relaxed, then I feel like that's the best type of mind frame to be in when I'm making a mix, and that's usually when people actually want to hear it.
I think that kind of mentality is so underrated, you know, of being able to have that self-awareness where you're not doing something for the validation of other people, but for yourself, and it's something that you want to do. You know, for me personally, because my life is like founded on like faith, like even being real and open in a church environment, you know, I'm not necessarily going to carry out a task just to please, you know, a pastor or please someone else. If I have a relationship with God and I'm not religious, then I will do it because of my love for God. You know, I'm not going to do it for other people or so and so forth. Or, like you said, you know, just that thing with Instagram taking likes, I really hope they follow through with it. But then at the same time, it's sad because going back to the topic of identity crisis, and even touching on to maybe mental health, a lot of people will get flushed down the toilet. Literally.
Then it's just like no offense, but maybe no one deserves to have bad mental health, but sometimes maybe it might be a wake-up call. You need to realize that you shouldn't be basing your life on Instagram. Like, you should be able to live. I always say, if I didn't want to be a DJ presenter, there's no way in hell I'd be on social media. It's pointless. It's only because I need people to know who I am in order for me to get bookings or be put onto platforms that I eventually want to be on. But if I didn't want to be in this industry, I would not be on social media because it just messes with your mind. I see it as a business. I post things on there. Like, fair enough, I might post things to do with my personal life, like if I go out and stuff like that. But ultimately, I see it as a business. I'm just the attention I get from there is directed towards me as a DJ. Exactly. Like, that's it. I would never post like, fair enough, if I was in a relationship, maybe little things, but I would never post like too much of my personal life because I don't want people to judge me off that, because in the moment it doesn't go the way it would have been expected to by the public, then I'll start to be doubting myself when it should never be like that, because the world just goes with the wind. Things change all the time.
Exactly. We said it like a couple episodes ago, like likes and follows have just become like the new currency. Everyone wants to get it by any means necessary. Like, you just want to be big, you just want everyone to know you, or you just want to have that kind of sense of popularity. But in the end, what does it actually mean? If now Instagram was actually take away all the likes, what's that? What's next?
No, it's true. And I was having this conversation with my brother. My brother's 19, he's going to be 20 in December. I said to him, like, we had this conversation, I said to him, in your 20s, for me, I believe that this is a point in time where you should be building a foundation. And people say life begins at 30, and I truly believe that. Like, a time like now is where you should be doing things like this, like trying to do a podcast, trying to be a DJ, whatever it is you want to do in life. This is a time where you should be finding your feet, trial and error in every area of life. And then by the time you get to somewhere like 30, you can begin to reap the benefits. But people just want instant gratification. They do so much to like get to a certain level. People do so like silly things just to get viral for the sake of being viral. And I'm like, if you peak now, what more are you gonna get from that? Like, for me personally, I hate the term influencer. Like, what is that? I'm just like, what is that? Like, if you are an influencer, that's fair enough, but use that clout and all of that to start a business, like to make an impact. I've always said myself, like, the moment I get to where it is I want to be, or the moment I have that financial freedom, I've always said I want to open up a school for the technicalities of music, so like production, DJing. I would love to open a school to be able to help other people, to teach them. Like, I always say, your passion plus sharing it with the world equals success. Oprah said that, and I believe that's so true.
That's an amazing equation.
I think that's so true. Oprah said it, and I believe that you'll feel fulfilled when you find what it is that you're supposed to do it on this earth, and you share it with other people. There's no more fulfillment you can get. What more can you make you happy? Like, it's not just about people knowing who you are and you being like the biggest YouTuber, because that's fine, but then you need to channel that into something that's actually gonna make an impact. Otherwise, it's just ego, and then it's pointless.
The thing I think as well with social media, and in terms of like people forgetting who they are and their identity. I feel like the example just came in my head now. It's like going into a room, or let's say being in a dream or having a dream, and you're in that dream for so long that you believe it's real, and it's just like it's an invisible ground basically.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
It's a virtual reality. Like it's so hard because some people always say like don't take social media seriously, but then sometimes I fall into the trap as well. I'm not perfect. I do certain things. I think like especially with girls, and when you see other girls and you think like, oh, why don't I look like that and stuff like that. It's inevitable not to care what people think. It's just about you having self-awareness and being able to get your mind in check. That's why I say meditation is so good, because when you meditate, you learn how to. It's like you exercise your mind like your body, and then you become more and more mindful. And it like me meditating, I can say from experience, like I've begun to understand that when I see certain things and I begin to start thinking, oh, but what about me? You're able to get your mind in check and say, no, that's not real. Like you're mindful of what you're thinking. You don't allow yourself to spiral to a point where you're feeling like so insecure. But it is true. Like you have to always remember that it's not real. Like it's a virtual reality, and people are never going to show you the worst parts of their life. They're only going to show you the best.
Never that.
On social media, so you should never compare your background to someone's highlight.
Yeah, and I think even myself, for a few years now, even though we're all very young, but from let's say like 1920, I kind of grasped this, and even up until now, and I'll continue doing is. When I go on my personal account on Instagram, I might maybe go to send a message or respond, but then I'm out straight away. Yeah. I feel like it's like if you're in a room of gas, you're gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, at some point.
So you're in there and then you're out, if that makes sense.
But that's a good way to be though. Sure. I still sit and scroll, but I feel like I have that self-awareness that I'm just like...
That's the key word. I feel like it's self-awareness, just knowing and realizing when you need to snap out. Just remaining conscious. Like you can. It's not that social media is a bad thing. Like there's been a lot of benefits to it. Like you were saying, like it's an amazing way for you to promote yourself, promote your business. Yeah. It's an amazing opportunity, like to actually do stuff like that. But then the moment when you start getting lost in it, the moment when you start thinking, oh, why am I not like this person? Or when it starts to take you down that path of like, it's not being an advantage for you, then you need to kind of snap out and tell yourself, yo, like, let me come off this, or let me just, and I think so. Yeah, self-awareness is the main thing, man.
One thing I will say, like I said at the beginning as well, when people ask me, when people say, oh, like I want to be a DJ, can you teach me? And I always say like, make sure you love the music before anything else. I think as well, if what you do, like me as a DJ, if you know it's your true passion and you know that that's what you want to do, you will never be threatened by anyone else. So when you see things on social media, as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, whatever it is you're doing, you'll never be threatened by anyone else. Even if you wanted to be like a model, if you knew that was your true passion and that's what you wanted to pursue, you won't look at other people and be like, oh, but she's doing this or she's doing that, because you'll know that at some point, if you work hard enough, you're going to get to those levels. So that's another thing. You just have to believe in your source, basically.
Yeah. That's true. That's what identity comes down to, like believing in yourself. Yeah. Believing in who you are, believing that you're capable of reaching or excelling or doing whatever you want to do. That's what it comes down to.
I think as well, in relations to friends and family, it can be quite conflicting at the same time, because if we're talking, for example, about people who want to pursue a creative career in that kind of context, and you have maybe friends or family who maybe the right intention of saying, I don't think this is right for you, or you'll have some people like will try and check you and say, this is not really your kind of lane. I think it's always important to, even though it's always easier said than done, no one's perfect, we're not perfect at all, but again, going to self-awareness, that you are able to look in the mirror. You're able to look in the mirror and kind of promise yourself and make sure that you never look in the mirror and forget who you are. Or, lose yourself and not recognize who you are, what you're doing. And I think that relates, in any area of your life, and for example, having values, so on and so forth, and not letting, the world, society, take away what made you who you are.
I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna ask, like, is there ever opportunity or occasion where you feel like maybe losing your identity, or maybe not even fully losing your identity, could be an advantage or could help you progress?
Yeah, I do. I believe that to be true.
I'm thinking like there's certain, I feel like there's certain scenarios, I can't think on the top of my head like of an example, but I feel like there might be an occasion where like you know who you are, but to appeal to maybe like a certain audience or something like that, you might have to kind of like carry yourself in a different way to how you normally are. Is that always a bad thing?
I was seeing it a bit differently to the way you said it. I was seeing it as in like, if you have to hit rock bottom to find your way back up again in terms of losing yourself. Okay. But that's a bit different.
Nah, so like, let me think of an example. Let's say, I don't know.
I know what you mean though.
To better yourself, you mean, in a way.
Yeah, or to maybe progress. To progress.
I can't say it because I think it's dangerous.
You mean to kind of
let's say
fit a mold and copy what someone else, well not copy, but like.
Not copy, but
well, let's say like in music, for example. Let's say you do R&B, you do R&B. But then you try to do a bit of grime or...
Okay, yeah, music is an issue. Yeah, it's a good example. Yeah, let's say like what's banging now is drill. Yeah, now music. Let's say it's something like that. Okay, now I'm a grime artist. Yeah, but should I say? I know. Yeah, if I was to do a drill track or something like that, it has more potential of it banging than like grime, which is not at the same level as it used to be, kind of thing. Is it wrong for me to maybe dive into like the drill kind of side or do I just stay in my lane and just?
I would say it's not necessarily wrong because ultimately we can all do anything we want, but it's like I said before. I would probably say like don't cheat life. Not obviously it's not that deep. It's only like music, but I would probably say if you know that's not you, then there's just no like you shouldn't feel like you have to do that just to bang.
Okay.
Because you'll bang when your time comes. Like you'll blow when your time comes. You don't have to. You shouldn't feel like you need to do certain things just so you blow, because it's like consistency is key. Like if you keep going hard at what it is you're doing, there'll come a point where someone will be like, "Wow, like who's that?" And then everyone will jump on. Like I said, Burna Boy has been doing his thing from ages ago, and it's only now he's like blowing up. But he never compromised who he was just to be to the point he's at now. He knew that was gonna happen. And most times, that's the biggest people. They never compromise who they are. They just keep going, and then there's a point where people find them.
I think it comes down to intention as well. So I think it's still dangerous when you give that example. But I think if your intention maybe is to maybe try something different, but still be cautious and stay true to who you are, your values, whatever it may be, in whatever kind of context. That's okay.
Yeah.
But then if you have the intention of kind of getting sucked into it, then
like no one can see me. I'm gonna do drill now. Like that's not the best way of going about it.
Doesn't everyone do that to an extent? Like even like all music artists do that to an extent. They do kind of delve into different sounds and different kind of thing.
People might hate me for this. This is why I really like Kanye. I feel like he doesn't like, obviously he says some crazy stuff which obviously I don't agree with, but ultimately I feel like he's an artist and he likes to experiment with sounds because he likes to bring something new to the table. I believe that he doesn't like to follow the crowd. That's why I really love his album Yeezus, because I feel like it's so different to anyone else. No one would have.
That was weird, man.
It's like
I'm not gonna lie, that hurt my ears.
The only reason why we think that is because we're like, I don't know how to describe it. We're like exactly. We're just like we're accustomed to a certain thing because just what society tells us. But I honestly believe that doing stuff like that, like that's just like. People might hate it, but that's just the way to go. Like, if you want to be a creative, there's nothing wrong with you trying something new or just doing you because that's what you feel like you want to do. Like, he only did that because he feels like he's confident enough to put that out there. Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't ever like say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this or the other because other people are doing it." He just does things because he wants to. And I feel like if you're really a true creative, you just do that regardless of what people have to say about it. And if it doesn't bang, you go, "Okay, next time I'll try something else," and it will. Like, it doesn't really matter what other people say. Ultimately.
Surely being a creative, doesn't that also mean I was playing devil's advocate?
No.
Doesn't that also mean that you actually have to come out of your comfort zone in a sense? Like I I keep bringing up the music example because I feel like there's a lot of artists that I don't feel like they would normally do something, but they're doing it because they know bang, like Heady One, like sampling like Faith Evans on the track or something like that. Like,
oh yeah,
he would not. Would he normally do? Would he do that? Would he?
But I feel like that's with the intention that you said. I feel like if you're doing it with the intention to try something new, or say like, oh, I'm doing this, how people gonna like it? Let's try it. If it's with that intention, then it's fine. But if anyone did that because he was like, oh no, I'm dying in the scene, like I need to do this so that I can get like people's attention, then it's like chill. But if he's doing it because he's like, this actually sounds okay, like I want to try something new, then.
This is funny. This reminds me of what Wiley was saying about the whole Wiley and Ed Sheeran thing.
But look from the outside in, even with that example there, I think it's hard sometimes to know if that person, like again, that intention. It's hard, you know, looking from the outside in, if that person really had the intention to just try something different, or like literally, you know, all right, going out, all right, dying, so and so forth. See, I need to just do something else, just something out of the random. You know, I agree. You know.
Yeah, I just always feel like you shouldn't think too much about what other people say or do. If you truly believe in what you're doing, then just do it. Unless it's like, I don't know, there always is exceptions. Like you could be a singer and you just really can't sing. If you have people that love you around, they'll tell you you can't. But I just feel like, I don't know.
I'm just thinking like being a creative as well. Like more time you basically get paid based on your demand, from like how people demand you, like whether the demand for whether your craft is.
Value,
so like if there's no demand for it, how do you get paid?
That is true.
If there's no demand for the music I'm playing, do I continue making the music and just, you know, just try and grind?
I was having a conversation similar to this with my friend at work, but it was more to do with the laws of attraction. And you might think like, oh, come on. But I personally feel like,
I believe strongly.
I believe that if you believe in the laws of attraction, you shouldn't have to worry about like the demand and stuff, because that will come. If you focus on yourself and you do your thing, it's just a process. Like I feel like you shouldn't have to. To some extent, yes and no. Because I feel like obviously with me DJing, there's obviously if I like me knowing certain people and networking with certain people is obviously going to put my name out there. And without that there's a possibility that I would be like further behind than I should be or could be. But all of that comes with I don't. For example, let's say me meeting YBE. That all happened by chance. I didn't go around looking for it. I didn't have to manipulate or do anything. DJ Squirrels, we worked together. Our day job was like how we met. Not even nothing to do with DJing or anything. And then that's how like we end up like working together in terms of DJing. So I truly honestly believe that you can manifest you shouldn't have to do certain things to get to certain places. You can manifest it if you work hard and you believe that it's for you. But that's just like I don't want people to think, oh yeah, it's like magic, because obviously some people might not believe that. Because I was having this conversation with my friend and he was like to me, obviously you wake up in the morning and let the universe do this in your life. And I was like, not really, because he was like to me, oh, so you don't think you worked hard to be able to get the bookings that you're getting? And I was like, obviously, yeah, to an extent. Well, first of all, I don't believe that I'm working harder on DJing because I see it as it's like fun to me, number one. But number two, like I said to him, like I didn't come to Box Park expecting to get all of the stuff that I'm getting now. Like it just it's hard to explain, but it just happens. I feel like if something's truly for you and you have pure intentions and you work hard enough, you shouldn't have to worry about manipulating a situation to get certain attention. It will just happen. Because I'm like, out of all the people I know, I probably have the least followers. I have only like 500. I don't even have 1,000. But I still get the opportunities that I'm getting because I believe all that stuff will come. I don't need to.
It's quality.
Exactly. I don't need to buy followers or do something silly and go viral and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a DJ. Like I just keep doing what I'm doing, meeting people, and then slowly it will happen. And I've got bills to pay too, but that's just why I have a day job.
Exactly. And I think it's so important because just left my mind, bring it back. Yes, it's so important because even myself at the start of the year, you know, obviously when you're building a platform, you kind of, most of the time you go into it for the wrong reasons. You need to have a certain amount of, like you said, followers, so on and so forth in that context. But like you said just now, it doesn't really matter how many people maybe on your following or in any context, not just like being a creative, but if you have a set amount of people who are riding for you, that's why even go back to your example with Kano, the guy could probably wait 5 years. Or an example, Kendrick Lamar, he dropped an album in 2017, it's only going to be 3 years. But as soon as he releases his next one, people are going to be there to listen to it. People are going to be there to listen to it. But it also made me think, what would you guys say in regards to someone who thinks in this kind of way where they will try and manipulate things, become something that they're not, and then convince themselves that in the long run they're gonna try and bring it back.
It'll crash and burn. It always does. I don't want to.
It's unscripted. You have to say it.
I feel like it depends. It depends on the context. Like I feel like, okay, let me get an example. Yeah, let's say like something like Love Island. There's a lot of people that would never ever go on Love Island. Yeah. And there's some people that I feel will go on Love Island to further their career prospects or bring like a brand to themselves. Like, example, what's this guy's name? The boxer, Tommy Fury. He's a boxer. Now, boxing, your popularity sells your fight, kind of thing. To become a top boxer, you need to have a following, in a sense. Now, he knew this, and he knew that he was also on the limelight of his brother. So what's the fastest way, or what way can I build my following so I can reach that kind of level and get the big fights? So he went on Love Island. So what do you say in that kind of example?
I think, going back to what I was saying, I think it comes down to the personal decision of the person. I agree again with what Lucia said. I don't think you can cheat life. I think you can be successful in the short term, but I think at the end of the day, the most important thing, even though it's easier said than done, like, okay, I'd rather be someone else and be blowing, have money, or fame, etc., recognition, applause, appreciation. But I think, for me personally, I think it's better that you're winning within yourself.
Yeah.
You can look, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, obviously it's still work in progress, but I recognize who I'm looking at, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like, I don't get why people just don't do it the right way. Like, I always say people want instant gratification rather than deferred. Like, why? If someone said to you, "I'll give you £100 now and you can take it," or if you wait a year, I'll give you 1,000. Like, why would you not just wait that year? Like, most people would just take the 100 now. Like, I don't understand why people just would prefer to have a shortcut and do things quickly and have it all crumble if they don't hold onto it properly. Because I don't want to say any names, I feel like I'd feel so bad if this person never found out. But let's just say one-hit wonders, there's certain artists that put out certain songs that blow and they go viral because they're catchy, not necessarily because they're great. And once you do that, it's like...
I know some names that she's going ahead, but we're going to talk those names as well. But anyway.
You know. But like, you can drop a song, and it can blow and blah 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 because it's catchy and then everyone loves it and stuff like that. But then it's like, when it comes to bringing out the next one, if it's not on par with the first one, you're just going to be struggling, and then you kind of slowly you go down because it's never going to be like the first one.
I don't feel like that's a good example because like, even these one-hit wonders, did they expect it to bang? Like, they just put the song like there's certain guys like Rams when he made Barking or something like that. That's just the first example that came to my head, didn't it? But I don't feel like he felt that song was going to bang, become as big as it was
I would
at the time he was making it.
Use that clout and channel it into what it is you really believe that you're supposed to be doing. Don't just make another song because I'm a singer. Exactly. Don't
convince yourself that is.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, use that. That happened for a reason. So just use it and to push it towards whatever it is you believe that you truly want to do or who you truly are. If you're not a singer, don't be a singer kind of thing. Okay. Like that's just what I believe. Like, I just think do what it is that is for you, because there's a difference. Someone like him and then someone like, I don't know, Kano or someone like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar could go years without dropping an album or a track, and then when he does, everyone's gonna run to him because he's Kendrick Lamar. That's someone who truly has like an art and a talent for writing music and being an artist. No offense, but maybe Rams isn't that. So it's kind of like he's just chill and not try and force. I always say, when you feel like you're forcing anything in life, you're causing resistance. So just relax and think about what you're doing.
Wow.
Same, I've learned this the hard way. It's true. In relationships, I say this in relationships all the time. Like, as a girl, and a lot of my female friends always say, like, when a guy likes you, when they feel like they can't have you, they'll chase you, they'll show you attention, they'll do the most. The moment you feel like you like him and you start giving him that attention, you always feel like, oh yeah, he's pulling away, or like, you have to wait a certain amount of time to reply to his messages and stuff. The moment that you're like, oh my god, he's not replying, you do the most and you start getting onto him, the guy is going more and more away, you're causing resistance. The moment you relax and you're like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna live my life, he messages me, if he doesn't, he doesn't, then he'll feel like he's not with your attention, he'll come back. Like, whenever you force anything in life, when you force anything, whether it be a relationship, a career, and you're getting that frustration, you feel like, I'm not doing enough, or blah, 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 you're causing resistance. But then the moment you feel like, oh, like, I'm chill today, I can do a mix, or I can make a YouTube video without the pressure of who's going to watch it, who's going to listen. That's when people actually pay attention to you. That's what I've always found anyway. Like, when I actually do stuff because I want to, or I feel like I'm in the right vibration, that's when people give me attention. But if I'm doing it because I feel like I'm not doing enough, then it's like, when people don't listen to it, I'm like, oh, like, what am I going to do now? Like, I always say, don't be busy for the sake of being busy, be productive. You can do one thing in a whole day, and that could advance you 10 steps, and you can spend a day doing a million things, and that can not change anything. It's more important to be productive than busy. Take a rest when you need it, and don't just feel like you need to do certain things because you want to be in a certain place. Just live your life and have balance.
Wow. That fourth statement, that was powerful.
It's
wow.
True.
Yeah, can we get that? Another one, please.
The crowd's going wild.
But it's true. I've learned that from my own experience. In every aspect of my life.
Very, very true. I still understand why some people would keep rolling with it though, because they think it's working. You know, it's working, I'm doing this, it's working, and you know, I'm achieving my objectives and what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Is it really working though, or is it like a high? Is it like a high? You're getting a high of the, like you said, the likes, the people, the attention.
I'm sure there's certain examples where it's worked, and some people feel satisfied.
True, because there's a lot of people in the world, so it's not black and white. But I would, for me personally, I would say like. I had this conversation with someone I was speaking to once. I said, I would much rather make like 70k a year being a full-time DJ and be happy with that than getting 300k a year and sitting in Canary Wharf at 5 days a week doing something I hated just because I'm getting money. And then the person I was talking to was like, no, I'd rather do that. I'd get the money. And I was like, really, truly, you'd end up like depressed. Like, I want a good quality of life. So I would much rather DJ, enjoy the process, do this here and there, than just get to where I want to be for the sake of all the attention that I'm going to get.
What about if that Canary Wharf job was $1 million a year?
No, because I'd be upset. Like, I wouldn't be able to see my family.
That's always the thing. That's a great area.
I'm not one of the people though who's. I honestly do believe that money brings happiness. Like, you'd be naive to think that, oh yeah, like money doesn't make people happy, because it does. But I would want a good, like, I know if I was sat in an office typing at a computer getting £1 million, I know that the days that I'm at my office I would not be happy. I would work myself into a rut. Like, I would just be unhappy. Like, fair enough, I'd be able to spend money on what I want, but I wouldn't spend time with my kids. Like, who's gonna be living in that penthouse that I get when I'm at work all the time? Like, if I'm my own boss and I have a good quality of life, if I have balance, I can enjoy the pleasures as well as my work itself. So it's like,
wow.
But honestly, we're not put on this earth. I say this to my mum all the time because she never understands where I'm coming from when I say these things, but we're not put on this earth to survive and work hard. We're here to enjoy it. People don't understand that. People think, oh yeah, we're here to grind and like have a 9 to 5 and blah 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 and get a car and then whatever and then die. No, we're here to enjoy every day. Like, what's wrong with doing something you enjoy every day, or finding a job that makes you happy? Like, what's wrong with doing that? People just don't understand. Like,
I think it's just the picture that society paints, to be honest. It paints of success and stuff like that. But, you know, I think it goes back again to just being true to yourself. And like you said, you know, on this earth, you know, it's quite short. I know we're going to get a bit deep, but it's quite short in terms of you might even be young, so on and so forth. But time passes by, and I think that even though we're all really young, I've realized in the last few years that the worst kind of feeling you can have is regret.
Yeah.
I always said that. I've always said that.
Is the worst feeling.
I've always said that.
Time you can't go back.
Yeah.
I said that. That's one of the things that pushed me to do all the stuff I'm doing now. Like I literally will message like radio stations when I had a show outside. I would reach out to artists like straight up because I've always said to myself, if you like reach out to big names, it's never a no. The worst thing you're gonna get is someone say no or ignore you. But there's gonna come a point in time when they're coming to you when they're ready. When you're as big as they are, they'll be coming to you for favors. So never take it personally if you don't get a response you want. But I always say I could never, like, I'm not saying like, oh my god, like I'm the best looking person in the world and I'm the best like woman in the world, but obviously I know that I've got a lot going for me at this point in my life, and I never want to get to like 50 and look back to myself now and be like, I had everything going for me, like, I was too nervous, I was too shy, and I didn't do whatever it is I wanted to do. So I just always say like, stop letting dumb things hold you back. Like, just do what it is that you want to do.
And going into what you said actually with your example, I think that works in a positive way where you can become something else, but something that actually, you know, brings you out of your comfort zone. So then you become actually, not something else as in you lose your identity, but you become a better version of yourself.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's when you said that. I thought you meant in terms of like hitting rock bottom. So, say for example, like me getting fired from Turtle Bay. Like I was really upset about that. I could have used that as an opportunity to say, well, fine, I'm gonna just stay here in Peterborough and do whatever. But I used that to push me to come to London and say, nah, now I need to focus on what it really is I want to do, because obviously these 9 to 5s are just not doing it. Or things like heartbreak, like I would be crying about it, but I would rather say to myself like, no, I'm gonna be a better version of myself. So whoever it was that broke my heart can regret it.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, you just have to keep going. And it's easier said than done, because I think about I care a lot about what people think about me. It's inevitable not to. It's just about channeling it in the right direction and not dwelling on it and like understanding that it's not important.
How about you actually, you know, with the question that you asked?
What, in terms of like, wait, which question are you remember?
What was the last one you asked about concerning, would it be, I can't remember, do you remember?
There was quite a few questions I asked. Wait, are you talking about like, was there ever an opportunity where losing your identity could...
Yeah. It works out for you.
I feel like it can. I feel like it can in a sense. But
so do you...
at the same time, like, it depends what your values are. It depends what your values are. Like, number one, if you're not satisfied or if you don't feel complete within yourself, then it's not worth it. It's not worth it. But in terms of, it depends what your goals are. Like, let's say it was a financial goal or something like that. I would say, yeah, there are opportunities where losing yourself could bring that financial goal, make you achieve that money. But then going back to the point where, are you happy within yourself? I don't know, that's another question you need to ask yourself personally. But I do feel like there's certain scenarios, very rare scenarios, where losing your identity could actually work in your favor.
That just made me think, actually, that's like Big Brother in the earlier days before it got like trash. There's a lot of people who went on Big Brother. I don't know her name. There's this woman who was on there who presents for This Morning now on ITV. Like things like that. Like you could go onto a TV show like that and I guess lose yourself or just do it for the sake of whatever it is. But then you could always end up doing something that turns out being your lifetime career. So I guess in some cases, but there are obviously people who just didn't do things for clout, because you always get like what's for you afterwards. But yeah, I guess so.
I guess it comes down to your intentions and kind of thing. So
you guys agree that you can kind of venture out to an extent, and then
in a sense,
with the hope of bringing it back.
Yeah, but I do think it depends on your intentions. Say for example, people on Love Island these days, that just goes over my head. Like I feel like
never will watch that.
Anyone who goes on there is going on there to get a deal with like freaking Pretty Little Thing. Like anyone who goes on there knows what they're getting afterwards. So I personally think like if you're on there, you're just doing it for the sake of whatever comes afterwards. Because there's no way in hell you're gonna. Well, it's possible.
Is that bad thing?
No, if that's the way you want to go about it, then calm. But I personally, fair enough, there's a possibility, because there's a possibility for anything in life, but there's no way in hell that I believe you can go on a show like that and find the love of your life. Like, that's just me.
Nah, they definitely not.
You're just not finding the love of your life.
What is a bad thing? Were you asking?
What is a bad thing?
Yeah, that she said.
Wait,
You said, is that a bad thing? What did she say?
Oh, in terms of going on Love Island, like
To get
with the
a
attention
deal
of
with
what's
like
happening,
real
what, yeah, like in terms of like you get the followers and like you get all these like you basically become an influencer kind of thing. I was asking, is that
I just feel there's no it's up to you if you want to go
That's
through that,
actually-
but I
it's a career
feel
path.
like there's no foundation in it.
It is.
I can't take it seriously. I can't take that
You can't take it seriously, but at the same time, it is.
But I feel like
Yeah,
In this day and age, it is.
to me, there's
It's
just no
mind-boggling.
foundation because that could disappear like that.
With anything else.
True, but I just
Wow.
There's people there, boy.
That is true.
Serving returns.
But I don't know, when the next Love Island comes following year, it's like everyone forgets about the year before.
It's true.
And
That's
plus, is that
very true.
really something you want to do, or are you just doing it because you know if you get like deal or promotion, like thing with people, thing, it's going to come with all the followers? Like, is that truly what you want to do, or is it just the attention that comes along with it that you want? Unless it's your ultimate dream to change the world with your new collection on Miss Pat, then yeah, do that by all means. But if not, then just don't.
I just believe sometimes some things can just be a means to an end. That's what I feel like.
True.
It just depends what you want to do with it, with the attention that you get. Like, I mean, there's people that
How you get it as well. It's very
how you get it as well.
debate.
As long as
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't
something
think
dumb or something that's just.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but going back to what you said, I don't think there's anything wrong. If someone wanted to do that, I wouldn't like judge them or tell them not to. But I think it's for me personally, it's one of the things where I would want to look in the mirror and say, you started when you had nothing, you did all of this, and you can look back and say your journey went like this, and now you've got all of this to be able to be proud of. Because you got kicked back and then you
Let's
got
not
up.
get it wrong as well. Like even this whole like influencer thing as well. Like they are still working as well. Like a lot of people just feel like it's as simple as these like just go on Instagram and just post stuff like that.
No, of course not.
You start shooting, they're doing stuff, they have meetings.
But I feel like there's certain people who only do it because they believe that it's easy money and stuff like that. Someone like, I would say, for me personally, someone like Nella Rose, I would look at her and be like, she's someone that I would probably say is the perfect example of an influencer, if that's what you want to say, because I feel like she only jumped on the YouTuber because it was fun. She was doing her chats with her friends and she was enjoying it. Like, you could watch her and genuinely believe that she was only doing it because it was enjoyable, and it's led on to this now. All the stuff that she's had has come from her doing something she enjoys to do. But there's other girls that would look at her and think, oh, look at all the perks you get, and I'm gonna start a YouTube channel now, and would sit and say, hi, welcome to my channel, just for the sake of what she has. And that is what I believe is, that's not an influencer to me. Like, I feel like that's just someone who is trying to get easy money or trying to have a glamorous life for the sake of other people who have it. But that's my opinion on it.
I think it's important that, whatever it is, whether it's career path or just life in general, is that you know yourself. And that you don't lose yourself. And because you know yourself, or you seek to actually know your own identity, whatever environment you go into, you don't lose it, because obviously that happens, and no, I don't think anyone could say in their right mind, no matter who they are, that it can't happen to them. But it's just important that you do know yourself and like where you stand.
I feel like there's even a bigger problem in this day and age. A lot of people don't even know themselves anyway. So what, they don't even have an identity. That's the situation that we're in now. A lot of people don't even know. So you can't even now talk about owning your identity when you don't even have one. In a sense. Wow.
That's why I said in your 20s it's all about trial and error rather than trying to peak for no reason. Because when I have conversations like this with my brother all the time, I say that we're so lucky, like us, I would say that we're lucky to be able to know that. So some people who, like you said, don't know who they are, but rather than try and figure out what it is, they're too busy trying to get followers and stuff like that. Like, just take a step back and just forget that stuff and try and figure out your passions, what makes you you, what you want from life. Like, just try and figure out what your purpose is. Not even that, I would probably say don't even try and figure out your purpose is, because sometimes that can get you in a rut. Just do things that you enjoy, and then one day you come to say, like, this is what I want to do. And even then, it can change in the future, but just don't bog yourself down trying to, like, just get caught up in the trivial things of life. Like,
although I would say that finding a purpose does interlink strongly with your identity. Because it's kind of what you find out to believe that you're put on earth or to do. So I think that's a very strong link, because I think, as you said, a lot of people who don't know their purpose struggle with that, because I think that's kind of like their foundation of them as people, and when they go into, they're like comedians, when they go into a different environment, behind in front of the red table, they're red. You know, in
Yeah.
front of the blue bus, they're blue. It's just a silly example.
Yeah.
But I think that's really, really, really important.
Mm.
So we had a great talk,
Mm.
talking identity crisis, and having Lucia today here as a guest. That is Unscripted. I hope and believe this is not the first time you're going to come on.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was an interesting chat. Man. It was a good
Definitely.
chat.
So that's it from us. Bigger and better things coming for us, and especially this
Oh.
DJ